diggy bound don don get down don don diggy dong dong diggy dong dong dang dang ding dang diggy dong ding. Okay, today we're going to be roasting some tracks from the Discord. It's going to be very, very fun. Okay, couple questions. Did I continue working on the Rhythm Shit song? No, but I will. Just been really, really busy. Hey Underbelly, how the fuck do I write orchestral music? No idea. Spade, when was the last actual YSAP video? About a month ago. I'll be posting one in the next 2 weeks. And yeah, cool. Let's get down to business. Time to roast some tracks. UB Roast Zone, that's me. Let's roast. Okay, let's see here. We have 3 tracks. I'm actually curious if anybody here could tell me what the criteria was for tracks that were getting roasted for me. Because basically what the server has done is created a channel just for me to pick tracks to roast. And I'm wondering what the criteria is for making the channel. Just want to make sure that that isn't just any nepotism or anything like that. Yeah, you cannot submit tracks yet. The tracks are just pulled from the roast before post section of the Discord. Yeah, it's currently closed right now. Okay, let's roast some tracks, starting with Rave Bunny Whip.
Thought I was doing okay without her. I thought I was doing alright alone, but I just can't stop thinking about her, and I can't stop waiting by the phone. I thought I was doing okay without her. I thought I was doing alright alone, but I just can't stop thinking about her, and I can't stop waiting by the phone. So I guess we're back at it again, and we keep on fighting out, and then to be real, man, I will feel better. She got me locked in her book, and my friends keep asking about when the hell I'm going, just forget it.
That was excellent. Ray Bunny, Netrum, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say. That was really, really well done. The arrangement was great. The sound design was great. The mixing was impeccable. Really, the only thing that I noticed, and this was a very slight thing, is just the difference in volume. Just the difference in volume between the drop and the build-up. So this is the build. Here it comes. Yeah, just like the change in volume there was really drastic, which maybe was something that you were going for. Maybe it's a little too much. I don't know. But overall, it sounds pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck the deal is with this pitch situation. I spent like $120 on this streaming card, which seems to not do us any favors. So I'm going to find an alternative streaming solution. This is some BS right here. Maybe it's an OBS setting. Maybe it's not just BS, maybe it's OBS. And maybe it's like the upload bit rate that is fluctuating. But yeah, it's freaking annoying. I don't know what the solution is yet, but I will figure it out. Also looks like my suspicions for nepotism are assuaged. Looks like in order to qualify for this roast zone, you just need to be getting enough RM roast me emojis on each one of these. They look like this. And I wonder how many, if you guys could give me a number on how many RMs are necessary to qualify, that would be great. So I think you need a certain number of RMs on your track. And then also, you need to be giving good quality roasts to other members in the community, just so that you are giving back. And basically, this is just rewarding being active in the community, and also, you know, giving you know, your proper 2 cents to other people's tracks. Yeah. Cool. It looks like it's 3+ roast me's at the moment is what it takes to qualify. Anyways, I'll figure out the OBS shit some other time. For now, it's a little late. Let's keep going. So bear with me through the pitch bends. Holy shit. Once again, that was beautiful. That was Moments by TS-1. I believe he cut out a snippet of this for the 6-second song contest, which he deservedly won. Dude, fucking awesome. Super amazing jazz piano. Reminds me a lot of Kiefer. Stuff like that. Just the combination of lo-fi and just making it more explicitly jazz. It was beautiful. Speaking of which, I'm actually releasing a video in the next week or two about how to write lo-fi chord progressions without having to sample some dead guy, so that you guys can get streaming revenue without having to pillage the hard work of dead people in the past. So I'm very excited to release that because I think it would be useful to sort of actually create a contest around that as well. So that I reward you guys for learning the sort of theory that I'm going to teach in the video, and also just, you know, make it more integrated with the Discord as well. So be on the lookout for that. I think in the next 2 weeks we'll have a weekly challenge on doing lo-fi without sampling. So I think that's a TS. He's probably going to win that shit probably, but. My God, I mean, I really don't have much to say on the track. It was really, really well done. Shit. Awesome. Let's keep going. 9 Huli track, Looping 18 Drowning. Let's hear it. Wowzers. Okay, thank you so much. That was 9HTLY's track Looping 18 Drowning version 3171141-MP3. So I'd like to organize my thoughts with roasting a little bit more clearly, and I'm going to frame my roasting in the future with 3 questions. First off, what is it? That is, what is the intention behind the piece? What is the genre? What does it seem like they're trying to go for? 2, what's working? What's getting it to that goal of what I think their intention is? And then 3, what's not working? What's preventing them from getting to that goal? Okay, number 1, what is it? To me, it feels like techie house. Maybe not techie, maybe like space, progressive, 90s, Star Trek. House, definitely. It's got the 909 kit. It's got the 4 on the floor. It's sort of ambient, kind of almost reminds me of Jean-Michel Jarre. It's sort of retro sounding as well. And it's got a sort of contemplative vibe with a very smooth, curved arc in terms of the arrangement. So it's not like we're trying to go super hard in the club to this. This is more like contemplative house, I guess. All right. Now, as far as what's working, well, I really like the vibe of, some of the sound selection and the chord progression. I think for the most part works, like especially in this section right here. Where is it? This really beautiful art, really cool vibe. I love the progression. It's super dreamy. So to me, what's working is some of the sound selection and the synths, the chord progression, and I guess the sort of emotional quality of the track seems pretty clear. It's not supposed to be like we're going hard to the club to this. This is more contemplative. What's not working, I think, is partially the arrangement. First off, it just kind of starts. And to me, with a track like this, especially in house music, especially if we're going for a more ambient, some would say quote-unquote boring sound, I think you could take your time with the intro. I think you could really sort of draw things out and sort of build tension and ambiance. You might even not necessarily need to start with the beat or even the full chord progression. That's one thing. The other thing is the mixing is suspiciously quiet in some of the elements. So for example, that hi-hat is pretty quiet, the snare is pretty quiet, and then eventually you turn into the 909 hi-hat. That's also pretty suspiciously quiet. So something about the mixing makes things feel quieter than they need to be and less impactful. The other thing is that the drumming is a little, I don't know, kind of basic, I guess, for house music. I mean, we're doing the standard 909 kit, which we've heard all a million times before, and I think you could do more to liven up the drums, to propel the track forward and have a little bit more variation in them. Right. See that 909, that needs to fucking rip through the mix, that open hi-hat. I like the automation on the bass, that works really well. Let's keep going. This section works pretty well. This to me feels like the apex of the song. This breakdown feels a little aimless and a little static. So for example, you have the chords that are, playing the progression. The progression works. It's just the chords are so filtered and small sounding that they don't really quite carry the piece forward there, even though it seems like they're supposed to be the main musical component that we should be paying attention to. So I would say the arrangement, taking your time with the intro, really making sure that the change in energy is really clear throughout, and also some of the mixing decisions you've made don't quite serve your track in the best possible light. And here, once again, the main synths feel really quiet and far away. This is all pretty good. That outro is fine. But I would say take your time with the intro and the arrangement, really build the tension. Make sure that your mix reflects the relative importance of the elements, and see what you could do about your drums propelling the track forward a little bit more and making them a little bit more lively. Otherwise, excellent work. Thank you for sharing, and thank you, more importantly, for being an active member of the community. I'm going to change away from my alien face for this next one. Oh, there's my alien face. Fuck it, let's keep that up. What the fuck is EDM? Jesus Christ. You know, I've struggled with this question for many years, Swim. Hopefully we're about to find out. Let's take a listen.
That's some white bullshit.
Wowzers, what the fuck is EDM? Well, I guess the answer is dubstep. Thank you so much, Swim34. Let's talk about it. What is it? Well, it's dubstep. Pretty obvious there. What's working? I think you have good energy in your drops. I think for the most part, the different sounds you're using in your drops, you know, the call and response that you have between your different wub-wubs and your womp-womps works pretty well. So in that sense, the arrangement of the drops works quite well, and I think the arrangement of the song overall is pretty standard, but it's effective. So your build-ups are an appropriate length, so are your drops. All of it feels pretty expected and straightforward. That works there, you know, quite well. What's not working? Some of the sound selection in the mix. You know, because of people like, I don't know, Virtual Riot, Skrillex, you know, whoever, take your pick. They, you know, really talented people, really hardworking people have elevated the mixing standard of dubstep today to be perfect, basically. And anything less than perfection is not going to compete. So in that sense, your mix really, really, really needs to be dialed in, and currently it's not quite doing that. And that's also partially due to the sound selection and design as well. So that synth, that main synth, it's kind of cheesy. I think you could pick a stronger preset there, or make it a little bit more interesting, maybe a more reverb, or fuck it, more ODT or some shit. Yeah. Oof. So that kick and snare sample is weak. Both the samples and the volumes of the kick and snare are really quiet, really weak, and we need to fucking punch through the mix every single time. Super heavy sidechain, ridiculous drums. The trap hats, I think, maybe could work, but it's really the kick and the snare that really need to fucking cut through the mix there. Yeah, once again, some of the synths here are kind of preset-y sounding, something that could have been appropriate for maybe like 10 years ago, but now, I mean, some of the Serum presets, you know, that are available today for free are you know, really, really high quality, and I think it's worth, if you don't want to take the time to sort of sound design your own stuff, I think it's just a matter of combing through those presets and finding the cream of the crop. But let's keep going. So, I mean, I guess this build-up works. Once again, the kick is really quiet and the hi-hat's really loud, weirdly. Definitely needs more sidechain.
What the fuck is EDM?
That sound like bullshit.
Okay. We're doing a little bit better with the sound selection in the drop there. The snares are much more appropriate. The kick feels still a little bit quiet. Perhaps you could use, I don't know, perhaps you could use something a little bit fatter or louder for the kick. With regards to the womp womps themselves, they are okay. I would say they could work, but perhaps maybe some of them could be improved. So for example,
Fuck is EDM?
That sound like bullshit.
yeah, I mean, that just sounds like a pitched down animal fart. So I think some of these sounds are working, like the main wub wub seems to work, but that one was just pretty fucking weak. Yeah. Also not sure about the trap hats on top. I think you could do something a little bit more creative with some ride cymbals, or just maybe not necessarily going for a super fast groove. Hold on, let me see what I can do about these pops here. Perhaps that will fix it. Okay. Yeah, so I would say generally speaking it's the mixing for sure, some of the sound selection, and just really using reference tracks from, you know, check out the latest Virtual Riot EP, man. I mean, that's gonna tell you everything you need to know in terms of how your mix stacks up. And yeah, I would just look at those things, and cool, awesome. Thank you for submitting, excellent work. I'm also curious what the fuck is EDM, so yeah, man. Okay, this is V Agens. Oh, LV Agens. I don't fucking even know. I'm not even gonna bother trying to pronounce that. With Wash. Let's take a listen. Okay, so that was fuck these pops. Alright, let's try this shit. I'm gonna also maybe take off the effect. Normal. Okay, gotta put on my serious face for the roast. Okay, so that was Elvagin with Wash. So what is it? It's chill hop, lo-fi hip hop, pretty obvious. What's working? Basically everything in the track. What's not working? It's not enough to sustain, 3.5 minutes. It's enough to maybe sustain a minute and a half of our attention, my attention at least. But to justify the length, we need way more. We need to change the energy. We need a B section. We need to up the activity level of the drums. We need to introduce something. So this is perfectly appropriate if you're just going to do a 2-minute little thing or 1.5-minute thing and fade out and call it a day. But to sustain a full-length song, we need way more, to kind of change the energy throughout. But, I mean, it's fucking chill hop, so what do you expect? It doesn't really need to change that much because most people, when they put it on a Spotify playlist, will be asleep anyways. So anyways, I'll rant more about that in my video coming 2 weeks from now. But cool. What you did include there was good. So take that. Yes. All right, let's move on. This is Lori's track with Emperor Muko. Let's hear it. Okay, thank you so much. That was Emperor Muko with Ambient. Sweet. So, what is it? Shit. Sounds like Aphex Twin goes Pirates of the Caribbean. Feels like experimental IDM plus Caribbean influence? Couldn't really quite tell. But it was really interesting. It seemed cool what you were going for. It was very unique in that sense. I can't quite exactly put my finger on what it is. So as far as what I think is working, I think all the percussion is really, really dope. I think all the sounds you're using is really, really dope. It's just really interesting how frantic everything is, and but also seemingly laid back. It's like, yeah, you just took Ambien, but maybe after you had an anxiety attack, or you're having an anxiety attack on Ambien. Jeez. As far as what's not working is, I think it's the same problem as the last track. It's just too long. It doesn't really quite go anywhere. I think if it was 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, I think it'd be perfectly fine. But almost 5 minutes with no real change or B section, we're pushing it. With regards to the mix, something about it feels a little distorted, especially in the drums and especially where the bass 808 drum hits in. It feels like the whole thing is clipping a little bit, which I think in this case is a little bit much since everything else in your mix sounds pretty clean. So I would say shorten the length, or same thing, add a B section or add a part of just distinction, anything really. Seems like the arrangement's pretty free anyways, so you have plenty of opportunities to do this. And see if you can clean up the mix, clean up the sort of soft clipping that I'm hearing in the drums. Maybe you might want to make your kick / 808 a little bit punchier, give it more of a transient. You could use drum bus to do this. But outside of that, really interesting track. Excellent work. Cool. Let's take a yes, and let's keep going. Here we have Paul. I'm Paul with Pipe Dreams. Let's hear it. Oh, fuck. Here we go. Cool. All right, that was Pipe Dreams with Paul. Okay, what is it? Sexy lounge, cocktail lounge, porno music? 3 a.m. Berlin house coke odyssey? To me, it feels like something that you would hear at like those like really dark, like you can barely see anything cocktail bars where you pay $20 for a cocktail and there's like, I don't know, like glass and like trippy lights and shit. I haven't been to many cocktail bars, but that's what I would imagine. What's working? I think for 7, almost 8 minutes, you do a decent job of switching it up. The track is constantly evolving and changing. It never quite stays static, which is not an easy thing to do with these lengths. So I commend that. And for most of the sound selection and sort of the sounds that you do choose to include here work quite well. So that's all working for you in your favor. What's not working? It doesn't quite feel like there's a sticking point. Like, I already sort of forgot how it mostly sounded like. I mean, I remember the chord progression, the jazzy seventh chords that you're doing, but in terms of a melody, it doesn't quite exist. You could do a sexy vocal sample. You could sample some Bjork up in here. You know, fully make it 90s, or you could I don't know, saxophone? Just some sexy sax man up in here? I think that would be amazing. So some sort of memorable melodic sticking point or anchor to hold the track together and also make me remember it, I think would be ideal. With regards to the kick, I'm personally not a fan of it, but it also could be a genre thing. I think it's too distorted and in your face. And then with regards to the arrangement, I felt like you were going to do more here. I felt like you were going to build more tension. Yeah. Right. So that the problem there is that you had more tension right here. Could have just dropped it, but instead you wait for the tension to almost completely dissipate and then drop it. And it's like, you kind of lost me there. And then the groove comes back in. It's just, I don't know. It feels like you missed opportunity there. I think you could make the groove come back in first off in fuller force, so add more elements when it does come back in, and also make it happen a little bit sooner, so that you're kind of capitalizing off of the tension that you're building there. But I like the 4/4 and the 4 switch up. I think that's welcome. Overall, I would say see if you can tighten up the arrangement in this way, do something about the kick, and also see if you can add that sort of main melodic component or idea to sort of help anchor the track in someone's memory. Sensual saxophone, excellent tip, Weaver Beats. I'll have to check that out. Cool, awesome. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much. I gotta go, but it was a pleasure roasting you all as always. Patrons, I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone else, see you guys next week. Have a good one. Peace. Oh, what the heck is going on here? I guess I don't know how to end this. Oh boy. What the heck and Bob is happening? Alright, fuck it.